Hi, my name is Jasmine Spencer, and this is Girls Inc. Strong, Smart, and Bold.
So what were your parents' expectations of you?
I don't think they really had any expectations of me. I think they just wanted me to live a full life. They believed in me and always instilled in me that I could do anything or be anything that I wanted to be, and I think I turned out great.
So what did you want to be when you were little?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and hopefully I could still be that one day. I studied biology in college, and I'm still taking some extra courses on the side, and we'll see. Maybe I'll be that when I retire.
What are the biggest lessons that you've learned from being on this team?
To always show up as yourself. It's not necessarily just this team either, but I've found that Angel City in particular is built off of community and who we all represent in this community of LA, and showing up as my authentic self has really resonated with our fans and our support group, and has only made playing for Angel City that much more of an incredible experience.
What was your first job?
My first job was a banquet server at a hotel. I got it after my freshman year of college. I was so excited. I got my first paycheck. It was great. Yeah, I worked predominantly like Sweet 16s and conferences, but yeah, it was cool.
When you were younger, who did you look up to, and did you have a lot of role models who looked like you?
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of role models that looked like me. My two older brothers were definitely and still are my role models. I still want to be like them when I grow up. And then I loved Brianna Scurry, Teresa Witherspoon, who used to play for the New York Liberty, obviously Venus and Serena Williams. So I feel like I grew up at a good age where there were Black women professional athletes that were a big deal, and it was just really cool to kind of want to be like them. Maybe not necessarily understand there was not professional women's soccer back then, but the idea of being an athlete and being a Black woman was a thing, and that I could aspire to.
Well, I'm so glad that you had those incredible role models to help you lead the way. So what does success look like in each?
I think both. To me, I define my success on how many people I can touch and bring joy to their lives. I think about every time I step on the field, the outcome of the game is out of my control. And so my goal is to always go out there and have fun and bring some joy to people who are watching. And I think I feel the same about my company. It's rooted in the idea of sustainability, building community, bringing resources to different communities. And so the more people that I feel are inspired by it and believe in the brand and want to support me in one way or another, then I'm happy.
How do you balance being a professional soccer player and running your own business?
It's a tall task for sure, but I have a lot of support from my family. They're incredible. They basically help me run the business. And then it's just a really good balance. There's a lot of demands being an elite athlete, and I think being able to take some time away from that and focus my energy into my company and channel that creative side is really fulfilling, and it's such a nice balance between the grind of being a professional athlete.
What is the hardest part of each of your jobs, and what is the most rewarding part?
The hardest part about being a professional athlete to me is that it's kind of this journey that never ends. You become a pro, and then you want to compete at that level. You win something and you want to win again. And it's just a constant journey about you trying to become the best person and player that you can be, and it's just never ending. So it's finding that balance of continuous progress and not really trying to chase perfection and just enjoying that journey. And sometimes that gets difficult because it's result driven. You want to win, you want to win championships, you want to win games. But I think really leaning in on that balance of just enjoying the journey and all that it has to provide has also been the most rewarding thing. And then I think the most difficult part about running a business is really getting started. Just, you might have an amazing idea and there's a lot that needs to be done in order to execute, and finding that balance of not trying to build something really big too fast is difficult, but I found if you ask a lot of questions and you be brave and believe in the mission that you have, then you can be successful in that way too.
So what have been the most proud moments in regards to your career?
I think just seeing the growth of the game, like my first, take it back a little further, when I got drafted into the WPS, the old league, it was the coolest thing. It was on YouTube. There was no big draft day, and then 3 weeks later it folded. So I think to fast forward 13 years to see that we're selling out stadiums, we have soccer specific stadiums, we have women's soccer specific stadiums in this country is incredible. And 13 years seems like a long time, but it really isn't. And I think that is incredible growth, and to have been a part of that journey and building the legacy of what is women's soccer in this country is probably the thing that I'm most proud of.
Well, speaking of community, why is it important to give back?
I mean, a million reasons, but I think the number one reason for me to give back is because not everyone has equal opportunity to do what they want with their life, to succeed in life, and simple things like donating your time. And even if you don't have the finances to financially support something, I feel like giving your time to a cause or showing up for other people makes a massive difference. Building a sense of community is extremely important, especially for women who don't always receive the same support and resources as our male counterparts. So what Angel City is doing, what Girls Inc. is doing is incredible in terms of creating a safe space for women to show up as themselves and really feel like they can be anything and do anything that they want.
You showing up as your authentic self is what makes you an inspiration. Who have been your greatest mentors?
I think my parents, I would say for sure, have been my greatest mentors. I called my mom literally yesterday and was asking her for advice, so there's not anything that really I can't go to her for, even if it's not something that she's directly experienced. She helps me find the answers I'm looking for one way or another. And then I think everyone who's come before me in terms of paving the way for women's soccer, it's been incredible to watch them in some capacity and just listen to them speak and how they carry themselves, and the doors that they've opened for my generation have really inspired me to do the same for the next generation coming after.
Speaking of advice, what is the best piece of advice you've ever received, and who was it from?
Probably my brothers. I think when I left for college, I was obviously nervous, but really excited about the next phase of my career. And, coming in as a freshman or a new kid or a new player, a new environment could be difficult, but they told me just be you. And I think that's the best advice, because that was the first time I left home and had to be in a new environment. And really being me is what has enabled me to continue to grow and excel at all different levels. So I would continue on that message that being you really is the best thing that you can do.
That is great advice. What advice would you give to underrepresented girls in sports?
Believe in yourself. There are many of us who look like you, who have been in your situation, who have accomplished amazing things. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And we see you, I see you, and you really are capable of achieving whatever you dream of.
What piece of advice would you give to someone who's interested in starting their own business?
I think the best thing you can start with when you want to start your own business is really hone in on what your idea is and make sure it's something that you're really passionate about, because it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. But if you're super passionate about it, then you'll be sure to see it through.
Speaking of all of that growth, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I mean, maybe still running around on the field. I don't know. We'll see how my body holds up. I try not to think too much about the future. I'm just really enjoying where I'm at right now, and what I'm able to do on the field and what I'm growing off the field is a ton of fun, and that's where I focus most of my energy.
So I'm curious, how do you show up every day strong, smart, and bold?
I just love what I do. And when you love what you do and you have the opportunity to do that every day, then it's kind of a no-brainer. It becomes easy to show up strong, brave, and excited to tackle the day.
Well, you are such a passionate individual who is an inspiration. So I want to say thank you so much for answering all my questions.
Thank you.